Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Expendable Show. I'm your host, the Expendable. So it is the day before the 4th of July. That's an important day for me. I love the 4th of July. It's my favorite because we got 1776 up here. We the people. Near God, I suck at this right here. We the people. I'm so horrible at backwards cameras. But so it is the eve of the 4th of July. So tomorrow, a lot of people are going to be blowing stuff up, shooting off fireworks. Hopefully everyone's safe and we don't have any mishaps. But I think the statistics show that generally something will probably happen. Hopefully nobody gets seriously hurt. So we have it's important for me mainly. Obviously, this is the day that the United States Constitution, went into play. But it's also important to me because it just reminds me of how this country stood up against the crown, and we basically whooped that ass with a bunch of farmers with pitchforks. The greatest military on the planet at the time couldn't beat a bunch of average Joes. So. We have that to be thankful for, that those people fought that battle, for us to have these freedoms today. Oh, it's Shawna. Shawna's here today. This is just like at regular work where she's always late all the time. She's got to go get a chair to sit in. So she's coming. I got to back up. So we'll give her a minute to get in here and get sitting down, and I'm gonna have to verbally reprimand her for being 2 minutes late to work. She got my dog all wound up now. The dog likes her for some reason. I haven't quite figured it out yet. Hey, it's the lovely staff sergeant in the house. Welcome. Oh, here comes Shawna again. Gotta go get all her stuff ready. It's the Vice President, Camala Harris. No, it's not. You're not the Vice President. You like school buses? No. I just saw a poll where they did a thing where Kamala Harris was to replace Joe Biden, and she doesn't get beat nearly as bad as what Joe Biden will. Mm-hmm. Yes, I can. Yes. Well, yeah. I'll do what I can do. So I was just talking, since it's the eve of the 4th of July, which is my favorite holiday because we beat the shit out of the English, which is like one of my favorite pastimes to talk about. I love that they offered Washington the crown 3 times. They said, "Come on, man, just take the crown." And he's like, "Get up out of my land, or I whoop that ass." And they just didn't listen, and then he did it. And then he's on his boat, going out on his boat across the Delaware. And so, that's a significant time. It allows me and you to sit here in the same room together because of what they did that day. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. You agree with me, or are you just agreeing with me to agree with me? That's what I have to deal with all the time.
I'm sorry, I'm texting my mother.
This is my time.
She let me know that she made it safely to where she was going. Jesus Christ.
Jesus can't save you.
Let me make sure my mom.
Actually, Jesus can save you.
Shout out to Gloria.
Gloria doesn't watch our show.
She still get a shout out.
So there was a round of polls that came out today that I want to talk about. Mm-hmm. So the New York Times Siena poll came out, which is it's a significant poll. I know. So in that poll that came out, Trump has a huge lead on Biden, 49-41. That's a liberal poll. So if the numbers are probably actually bigger, Biden is down 8 points. That's whooping in any means. If the election was today, it's a landslide. They're talking New Hampshire's getting close. Like, how does New Hampshire get close? That's a liberal state. If he can flip Delaware, Trump's the man. He is certified the man. Flip Biden's home state.
Oh God,
That'd be
I
awesome.
feel like they do it just to spite him.
I feel like it's happening. Like Biden is losing ground left and right. I don't know how he's going to be able to salvage what he's doing right now. It just doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean salvage? The man's not all the way there. How is he going to salvage it?
Shh. You're just screwing up my liberal listeners.
I'm sorry.
They're going to be like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to talk bad about Joe Biden no matter what. He's in perfect health. He's just had a bad day. One bad day.
You said Obama told what? What is that?
So there's a big meeting going on at the White House right now.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of governors and big politicians are meeting, and they're talking to Biden. I feel like what is happening is they are probably discussing
if he's gonna.
Yeah, everybody seems to think this is an exit strategy meeting. I'd say let Kamala have at it.
I don't think she wants to, honestly.
I think she does. I just think the establishment doesn't want her to.
At least they get half of the black vote.
But would they really though?
I don't know. Let's find out. Let's find out how people are feeling about Kamala.
What are you gonna do? A poll?
We're going to Black Twitter.
There's such a thing. Who would have known? So in this poll, the poll is from registered voters. Now it's like a point closer amongst all voters, even the unregistered ones, which I don't know why they poll those. They shouldn't even count because they're not registered. So I feel like if Biden won't walk away,
Puerto Rico doesn't like her.
That was a bad day for her when she went to Puerto Rico. Good Lord, the whole island had signs up saying "Get out of here."
Oh my God.
She's not very popular, and the more you put her on TV, the worse off she looks.
I don't think it's looking too good for her either, because they're bringing up. See, one thing about people, when they don't like somebody, they're gonna dig up all your dirt. They're showing a video for her back in 2016 when she was running, and it says, when did she start becoming black? Because she ran this under that she was Indian.
Yeah, she doesn't know what nationality is, and I agree with you, Sarge. I think Gavin Newsom's the one they want. He's the kind of the Kennedy-esque looking guy that they want. But the problem with that is that there's $200 million in the Biden war chest. And as much as they would like to just hand that over to Gavin Newsom, they can't. One of two things has to happen. We talked about a little bit in Sunday's podcast, is that either Kamala Harris gets it. She's the only one who, between her and Biden, can have the money. But if Biden pulls out and Kamala Harris isn't in, then that money is done. Then they've got to start all over campaigning for Gavin Newsom, which I think if they needed it, the money would be there. And I think they probably are discussing that, like how fast can we get this money together? I don't think that I just don't think that I think, Shawna, you're right, that Kamala, this probably isn't something she wants to do. There's a lot of pressure being the president. I'm not saying that she can't handle it. I'm just saying that in the condition that the country's in right now, who would want this job?
Oh.
Oh my gosh. See, that's how bad. I'm gonna talk about that here in a second. So I feel that there's a storm a brewing. You might be right. They could be offering Kamala the governorship of California. I believe she would want that.
That seemed more her speed.
And that could be the negotiation. Like, hey, let's swap you out. You leave the White House, go to California, and we're going to bring this turd from California who has more homeless people than ever. And the rumors, they're rumors are rumors. I just saw a rumor today that Flynn's going to be Trump's vice president, which I wouldn't be completely against, but that's the first time I've seen Flynn's name pop up in there. And I guess it was on some kind of legal document that it was a Trump Flynn campaign, but people mess with stuff online all the time. So I didn't really put a whole lot of stock into that. But look at where we're at. If Biden keeps his stubbornness and he doesn't, back out of this, there's a real plausible solution to this. And what I think could happen is the old okey doke. That's what I call it. That's some white folk talk right there.
White people say okey doke too.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess it's
it's a universal thing.
Okay, good. Anyway, I think they could do what they have done in the past and cause a disaster to clean up a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is what happened in the Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And I know I do have a lot of like Ukrainian people like on my Facebook, so they probably don't like as much of the bashing of the Ukraine that I do. But I like the Ukrainian people. I think their president's a turd, like a big one with corn in it. No, Zelensky is a turd.
Oh my God.
But so what Zelensky did was they have this war going on, right? So he canceled their presidential election. He said, well, there's a war going on, too much stuff going on. We can't have presidents. And then he went and rounded up all of his opposition and threw him in jail. The stuff they're saying Trump's going to go do. Mm. But it's already been done by the guy Biden's backing. Mm. So maybe this was, if you think about it, I'm going to get on my QAnon hat right now. Me and Marjorie Taylor Greene, my girl, bro, she power cleans a lot. I don't watch her videos. She's a workoutaholic.
So many comments to that. Leave alone.
I love Marjorie Taylor Greene. She don't put up with no shit ever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I feel like that maybe how they handled the election in the Ukraine was kind of precursor to how Biden's going to do this. Mm-hmm. I think that if Russia does a little bit more, mm-hmm. I think Biden could shut that down. He could potentially say, hey, we're in a real serious situation. We cannot have an election right now mm-hmm. because things are so dire and serious. Mm-hmm. And declare whatever kind of national emergency that postpones the election at least. One thing I want to point out is when he had his meeting, quote unquote, with Dr. Jill and Hunter about what they should do, they said Hunter had a lot to talk about. Mm-hmm. But Joe Biden says that we shouldn't be listening to Donald Trump because he's a convicted felon, but he's taking personal advice from his felon son. Mm-hmm. So what felonies is acceptable? That's what I want to know, Joseph. Tax evasion? The tax evasion felony? Because I'm making a point. That's what I do when I make points. Because I want to make sure that Hunter Biden hears me. Or are we going to go with the cocaine guy? Yes, and you're absolutely right, Sarge. Poland is a little bit turned up over there. Now, as we know, Poland has very strict laws. They're not completely on board with this whole European plan. Poland does not allow any illegals in their country at all. None, period, none. Poland. Mm-hmm. And but Poland is also a border state to Russia. So Russia does pay a lot of attention to Poland. Mm-hmm. And Poland was part of Russia at one point. I believe Russia occupied some of Poland right around World War II at some point, and long before that, with 1,000 wars that Russia's been in over like the same. They basically war over the same like little parts of like Asia, Europe. It's the same things over and over and over again. And they fought the Ukraine a million times too. This is nothing new. It's just this time, the United States is sticking their nose in it when before they just let them fight. So what I'm seeing and happening, there is an escalation going on over here too, Sarge. And I know you know this because I know you pay attention. And I wish Doc was in on this conversation because he'll be all over it too. I need to start making sure he watches my podcast because he would be a good one to jump in our message board and put his expertise in there. He's always watching airplanes fly over countries, and he'll send me messages and go, "Look how many fighter jets are over Brazil right now." And then I got to go look. Then there's more activity than normal. But if you haven't noticed, like it seems like there's a lot of poking going on over there right now, and I feel like eventually somebody's going to poke a little too hard, and it's going to pop something off. And I think that's what.
I'm just reading the comments about Kamala.
Kamala.
It's funny.
Kamala.
Kamala.
I call her Kamala Harris.
I don't care what she's called.
But she's really a trash panda.
Somebody.
It doesn't work because she's.
Well, this dude said she's pandering the black vote. All of a sudden, she's all over black media and having meetings with rappers.
Well, you know who she stole that from, right? You know who she stole that method from, right? Our Fulton County girl, Fonnie Willis. Mm-hmm. She go hang out with Young Thug.
That'd do her some good if she hung out with Young Thug.
She did. She was having an affair with him.
And I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about Kamala.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
The trash panda. That's she's there's Montel. I was just about to talk about Montel. Montel's awesome.
They said
he's a pimp. Look at him.
They said she isn't a stranger to Diddy parties in LA.
Imagine that.
Dead. I forgot.
Well, everybody kicks it at Diddy's. LeBron's over there too, doing Diddy stuff.
Right.
So anyway, I really feel Hillary in her hot sauce. Absolutely.
We gonna love our hot sauce. Don't do it. Minus Hillary.
Hillary Clinton. So I feel like Biden's trying to poke Russia. I feel like Europe's poking Russia. Everybody keeps like trying to call Putins bluff, and I think they're worried that Trump's going to get in there and he's going to cause this. He's going to go in there and he's going to make a peace deal, and he's going to look like the world's savior. And they don't want that. They absolutely don't want Trump to go in there and fix this whole ordeal. Even though everybody's still talking tough, Zelensky's now kind of backtracking. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, my boy Biden, his numbers suck, and he's like incoherent in debates, and he can't even walk up a 2-inch flight of stairs. Well, we need to do something. Like I should probably start working on a peace deal before Russia flattens this country. And that would be the smart thing for him to do. He needs to work on a peace deal because the last peace deal Russia offered, Zelensky didn't even want to hear it. So because he thought he thinks he has the United States and Europe's, that they got his back. And I mean, that's true financially and, with some of the, weaponry that we're providing. Yeah, Sarge, I think that's a good addition to this story. And I feel like the BRICS. So when you look at all that, it's the BRICS countries. Iran did their thing and everybody paid attention to Iran, and then Russia kind of turned up the heat on things. Everybody paid attention to Russia, and then China started flying stuff over. I think they had like 30 some fighter jets flying over by Taiwan, and now we're back over here. I feel like the BRICS nations are dividing everything up. They're trying to get our Navy split up, and that which will also split up our Air Force, which will also make us weak. And as we know from history, is you can't win a war when your front is divided. Napoleon failed, Hitler failed, the Ottomans failed, Rome failed, England failed. and we're next. And if we divide our fronts, we need to learn from history. I don't understand why all these great Harvard scholars have not figured this shit out. Like, I'm an idiot and I can read a history book and say, hey, we probably shouldn't divide our fronts because every time we do, we screw stuff up. People, we're not going to do this. Yeah, I agree. And that it's going to be bad. There's me and my dad were talking about the other day. I feel like we're going to see a lot of life loss here pretty soon. If something happens globally or even domestically, it's not going to be good because the temperament around the globe is really high. And it's going to take one stupid thing to make a massive disaster happen. I think we're at that point. So basically, I think Biden's going to try to retain his presidency by force. It doesn't seem like the Biden administration is going to back out of the presidency. They're fighting it, and they've had two House members on the Democrat side come out and say he needs to resign. Half of Europe's come out and said he needs to step away. So it's not, the pressure is on Biden. And I think as this goes on, as the pressure of this election goes on, and the more that they're going to demand of him, I just think it's going to deteriorate this man down further. And it's going to.
I think it's bad for him to be doing these like stuff, and he just need to be. He just off, and you can't tell us that he not. And putting him out there in front of all these cameras and stuff, like I think.
Are you a Democrat?
I'm just saying, it's just making him worse being out there doing.
You mean a Democrat actually sees the truth? I didn't think that was possible.
I'm nothing.
Or I'm sorry.
I'm just.
Can we call you a moderate?
No, I'm just a citizen of America, and that's just that.
She's a Trump supporter.
No.
You're thinking about it.
No,
you're getting closer.
No, not.
You're getting closer. Eventually, she's going to support Donald Trump. We got time to flip her. No. We're going to flip her just like we're going to flip, like we just flipped Georgia back red from being blue. Everybody had a brain fart in Georgia for a while. Now we're going to go back red.
Oh, they was mad about that. They was so mad about that. They're stealing votes. You see they disbarred Giuliani?
Well, they're going to do that. They disbarred him in only the liberal areas. Giuliani's retired anyway. You don't give a shit.
I won't tell. There's nothing to tell. So there.
And anyway, you're constitutionally allowed to. Sorry, said he's not going to tell. So you're constitutionally allowed to contest an election. That's part of like our process. So that whole Georgia thing is just a giant sham. So also this week, so I'm going to get off of that topic for a bit. And, because that's basically, the polls came out. That's what I think is going to happen. I think they're almost to like DEFCON 5. And, they're just going to keep working their way through until they have to do something drastic. But there was also Trump's immunity ruling from the Supreme Court. Now, I highly want to recognize for all you liberals that watch my show, which hopefully is a lot, because I feel like you can learn a lot, because I'm probably the greatest that there ever was. Probably the smartest, top 5 at least. But anyway, so I'm going to explain this to you guys so you can understand it. And so you stop like watching CNN, and CNN was, isn't really like, they're gaslighting you because they know you're ignorant enough to like get your fire and pitchforks out and go try to take out Frankenstein. So they know you're going to do that, and you guys fall for it every time. But the immunity case does not say that it gives Donald Trump the right to be a dictator. I just want to let you guys know that Donald Trump cannot be a dictator under this immunity clause. What it does is it gives him, like, if a president, while being president, has to make a tough decision that is on behalf of the country, then they're gonna achieve a certain amount of immunity for that. Like if the United States has to defend themselves.
If they came out and said that they gonna let Michelle be president, I'm pretty sure they could get the black vote.
Who, Big Mike? His name is Big Mike. Mike. Mikey.
She's a woman.
Identified.
Get over it. All y'all just mad that we finally had somebody that was a beautiful woman in the office. Because all these white women have been very funny looking.
She made all the kids eat gross food at school.
It was gross anyways. It didn't matter.
Anybody
with right mind was skipping school to go get food during lunch anyway. So it didn't matter. Although she tried, it didn't matter.
Oh, so she wasn't effective. That's what you're saying.
It wasn't gonna make a difference either way.
So you're saying that Michelle Obama was not effective.
No, me.
Big Mike sucks.
You better quit. I told you that.
Okay. Anyway, so going back to the immunity thing, because Shawna always thinks that it's funny to get me off topic, and so does Sarge. They both do it to me. So we really need to pay close attention, because the immunity does not do that. It actually states in the decision that this immunity clause is not going to help Trump in the January 6th prosecutions. It actually says that in there. So instead of listening to everything that CNN and like the race baiting Joy Reid says all the time, let's dang it, Sarge, you're distracting me.
I would too, Sarge. I would too.
But that immunity clause does not do it. The ruling does not do what you all think it does. What it does is it gives the president some protection to make decisions while in office that he feels is necessary for the United States of America. Now, like you said, like it says in the decision, January 6th is not included in that. So Trump can still be tried for the January 6th stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, does that change anything for the case? Well, yeah. So what they did was they said, well, that's going to be an isolated decision that's going to go back down to the lower courts, which all you liberals should be happy about, because guess what? That court is a liberal court. So I don't understand why y'all are crying all the time about how that works. It doesn't make any sense. You guys cry about everything. When it actually helps, it helps your cause. Bro, it doesn't make any damn sense.
They reading the headlines. They're not reading nothing.
Right. You're exactly right, Sarge. This law should have been set. It should have been presented decades ago. Like, this is something that we shouldn't have to create a law for to protect our leader and past leaders of the United States. Even if, as much as I don't like Joe Biden, this law should apply to him as well, because our president is our president. And no matter if we like him or not, when it comes to international issues, nobody's going to fuck with my president. I don't care who he is. I don't care if he's the ugliest, most racist douche in the planet. He's my president.
Some people believe that's Trump.
Well, that's not Trump. Trump's awesome. We all know that.
He is kind of ugly, though.
Yeah, but he's funny. And they've proven time and time again that Trump is not a racist. That dude has done more for the black community than any presidential candidate ever. That's a fact. Biden would have touched the HBCUs if Trump hadn't done it first. Mm-hmm. Trump is the only president to do that. Mm. Trump, yeah, he makes mistakes with that whole.
He could have left these black jobs out of this debate, though. That was very rubbing people the wrong way, and you want them to get you there the vote.
All right. Well, I've seen several different views on that, where some people are like, yeah, it was in bad taste, but then I saw where some other guys were like, you know what, it's true. Black people do black jobs just like Hispanic people do Hispanic jobs.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We all know there's certain jobs that certain people are doing. We've got to stop being so sensitive. But he also could have been more.
You're right. You're right.
Like, you know, like I know they prepped him before he went on there. You should have told him this is words we're going to avoid using because we don't want to upset the people.
Right. Because regardless of what anybody says, you do have to. We do collect data as a country.
Mhm.
So there are jobs that are a high percentage that the African American community does, or the Black community. There's a high percentage of jobs that generally Hispanics do. There's a high generally job that white people do.
You go to Alpharetta, you don't see nothing but Hispanics out there with them daggone garden trucks.
And they're making a ton of money doing
They
it.
making a ton of money out there.
You know how many rich, lazy people are out there?
Out there, man. I'm talking about. I went to a gas station one day in Alpharetta, and literally the whole gas station was full of like gardeners and people who do gardening. All of them Hispanic. All of them.
But they do a good job.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Immaculate work. That's why Alpharetta looks so pretty. It's
Yeah.
because of them.
right. Yeah. And you know what? If they're illegals, the sucky part is you can't hire them for a regular W-2 job because the Biden administration won't let you.
You said what?
The Biden administration does not let companies hire immigrants without documentation.
Mhm.
So what's he going to do with all of them here that he invited in? That's my girl, Lil Kim. We're going to talk about that. So what has happened with the whole immunity thing is the liberal left media has used it to fearmonger their people because they know how ignorant they are and how uneducated they are and how they can't think past 30 seconds that MSNBC and CNN feed them and say, immunity bad, dictatorship, Trump. And then all the liberals go, bah! But that happens every time. If you sit down and you read the decision, it doesn't say what CNN says it said. It's actually a broad decision that helps every president, past and present and future. It's a good decision. I mean, we have to put protections for our presidents. And the only reason why it got brought up now, it's not because the Supreme Court's trying to save Donald Trump. It's because the Biden administration went after Donald Trump. So Donald Trump has the right under the United States Constitution, under his due process, to challenge rulings. And this ruling made it all the way to the Supreme Court. So if you don't like it, don't charge the dude. It's like watching kindergartners eating glue all day. Like, do you not do these strategic people on the left ever really think something all the way through?
All I want to say about all of this is
They're supposed to be the smart ones.
when we talk about like the fellow citizens of this country, when we talk about that they do shit to appease them at whatever time they change the rules when they do it, that's what we've been seeing so far with this presidential election.
Wait, say that again.
Like we all talk about how, when they change the laws to fit them at whatever circumstance it is. That's exactly what we're seeing with the presidential election right now. All of a sudden we got a law that it's going to protect the president. You know,
right. So that's what you see when you're looking at all this.
All of this white people BS. That's it. And then people screaming at us about black jobs.
It does kind of seem like it's like two groups of white people trying to puppeteer around all the other groups. Now that you kind of say that.
It does. It's very weird. And then it's like we're getting thrown into a fight that we technically don't want to be a part of.
Right.
We don't want to be a part of that, but we also we know that our vote counts the most. So it's everybody.
Yeah. I do want to be part of the fight because it's fun. Good. All right. You can go down in the basement with Joe and Hunter.
Because Joe gonna be talking to the wall while Hunter trying to scrape and find some cocaine. That just seems like a bad time for everybody.
Yeah, but
and me, I'm claustrophobic.
So you know how many TikTok views you'll get?
No, I'm good.
I'll be down there making videos.
I'm good. I don't need any of that.
So when I view this and I see the strategy and I see the constant fear mongering that goes on, and I'm not going to say that the right doesn't do it, because they do it too. This is part of the system that, when you really think about it, we stole this method of propaganda, media propaganda, social propaganda. We stole this from Hitler. So congratulations, everybody's using Hitler's methods of doing things. What I see, though, is mental weakness. This is we are all being mentally weak. And when we sit here as both parties, mainly the liberals, but when they are constantly claiming we're being victimized all the time, that's a sign of weakness. How can you be victimized that long? How can you never stand up for yourself? How can you never utilize the assets that you have around you, the resources around you, to stop your own victimization? Some people victimize themselves so much that that's who they are. They become a professional victim. And that's absurd, because that's not American principles. Somebody didn't like what I said. They just jumped off. But it's true. It's weakness. And when you look at how China trains their people, and I know China is extreme, but when you look at how the Russian people are, they're some of the most hardened people on the planet. When you look at how our enemies take stop. All right, I'll stop. But no, I'm not going to. But when we look at what our enemies do and how they prepare for us, what are we doing to prepare for them? Nothing. We're continuing.
That's because we're having debates about what a woman is.
And that's where I was going with that. We're demasculizing men.
For sure.
And
wholeheartedly.
How are we going to beat China and Russia with a bunch of sissy boys? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry if that's an offensive word. I'm sure it is.
Don't use that.
But when we have lost our alpha abilities, we're not going to beat anybody in a war. I hate to tell you that. And it's just it's a dark reality. And we have to do it better. We have to get back on track. There has to be, I'm not saying that we can't have a more dialed down male, but you have to have a balance. You have to let the men, the cowboys and the farmers be cowboys and farmers. And the soldiers, you got to let them be soldiers. If you want to be over on this side and do your little thing, that's fine too. But you can't, right? You cannot, you have to allow men to be men when they want to be men, and not try to bring the whole bar down to this level, because we will get conquered quick. And it's just insane. I refuse to stoop to that level. They're going to have to kill me, castrate me, whatever. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm going to fight till the very end. And I know there's a lot of people out there in America that feel the same way. And, but the liberalization, the system from Europe that they're bringing over here, trying to force down our throats, is a cancer in our country. And we all need to wake up to it. Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. You all need to look at it and say, this isn't American. This isn't for us. We are going to get conquered with that playbook. This is dumb. So let's get rid of mental weakness. Do you really think? Let me ask liberals this. What? He's right, though. He's right. But do you really think that the American people, if this whole plan was to make Donald Trump a dictator, which I have a better chance of being a dictator than Donald Trump. I actually want to be dictator. Can I be dictator?
No, absolutely not.
Why?
Because you have short people syndrome and you don't know how to balance with your emotions well. No. You'd be worse than him wanting to set off a bomb somewhere all the time.
What? Yeah, but what if I use you as my advisor all the time? You just are around me all the time to help me make decisions.
No, because you'd be throwing a tantrum because I'd be telling you no all.
I don't throw tantrums.
Yes, you do.
I never throw tantrums.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't.
So throwing a chair at work is not throwing a tantrum. Okay, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Whatever. But do you think?
Sorry, you don't.
Whatever. Do you think, Shawna, that? Do you think the American people would just allow someone to just say, "Hey, the Constitution's it's not going to be there today. I'm going to be dictator now." Do you think we're just going to roll over and do that?
Oh, absolutely not.
I don't.
It'd be riots everywhere. Half of America would be burned down before they could even make it a dictatorship.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
I could just see so many white people being so upset. This isn't America. This isn't patriotic.
Right. There's too many people that want that.
This would be the one time that white people would genuinely want to band together with every POC to be like, we're overthrowing the government. We're not doing it.
Even the right, we're not going to let Trump be dictator. This is all fear mongering. There's nothing that Trump is not going to be dictator. If you actually believe that, then you have no faith in the American will. Trump doesn't want to be dictator. I promise you that.
I don't think he wants the responsibility to be a dictator.
But the thing is, though, it's all about that book that the Heritage Foundation put out, the Project 2025. Everybody's freaking out about it because nobody knows how to read.
Oh yeah, no, I've had many.
Oh yeah, my whole class is kicking in.
Yeah, Stephanie, say it again, girl. And we just passed men's mental health month. Yeah, that's a real thing. We do. That's another discussion for a different day.
Is that really a thing?
That just passed in June.
I've noticed that on TikTok. I'm seeing more and more like men's mental health stuff on TikTok.
But that was a real thing. It was a whole month.
You mean
mental health awareness?
What?
Yes.
Then how come I didn't get to do mental health stuff?
What do you mean? There's nothing to do for your mental health.
What do you think? There's more.
No help for that.
There's more.
No help for that.
There's more. I'm jealous. I'm jealous of Stephanie because she lives in Florida.
Ooh, no. She has to deal with hurricanes. I'm good.
Oh yeah, they're about to get hurt. No, I don't know if it's gonna hit them or not.
I don't know. But hurricane season seems like it never ends, so we good.
Yeah. But I have a classmate in my class that's in the eye of the storm right now. Mm. So her and her husband, they both were in my class.
Good luck.
Yeah. So I've been a little worried about them. I just think we need to get rid of the small.
She said back in Ohio.
She's back in Ohio. Well, geez, I'm behind. Why am I behind?
Because you're not actually on social media. So
no, because I just talked to another classmate of mine and she said that they're there.
Well, clearly somebody ain't got the memo.
Okay, Sarge said I don't need all that new stuff. So I'm good. I don't need it.
Everything got fentanyl in it. You don't nothing with fentanyl. See, you're crazy enough. There you thank you. Somebody agrees with me. There's nothing to help that.
I'm perfectly sane all the time.
I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am. It's a fact.
Yeah.
The I just we have to be careful with what we hear and because they're going to turn it up now. Biden's getting his ass kicked in the polls, so they're going to come at us with a lot of fire.
Not us, y'all. But
you're on my team now. You're flagged.
No.
You're flagged. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I think it's going to get vicious.
Oh, you're in Ohio. I'm about to head that way tomorrow morning. Yeah, that's one of my. I'm going.
That's where I want to be. In
Ohio.
Jamaica.
Oh, I'm gonna say you can get in the back. I'll take you to Jamaica.
Stephanie, did they take the travel ban off of Jamaica? Because if so, girl, I need to book a trip.
Well, that's our other classmates. They went down to do to help out some communities down in Jamaica.
I hope they make it back safe. You know, they got a whole travel advisory on Jamaica right now, saying like it's super dangerous because of like theft and all kinds of stuff. Like they be stealing out
Oh
of
yeah.
people's
Well, you think
hotels.
they got gangs and everything else down there
The
too?
new mental health. They will legitimately.
I will if they ever did that to me, Sarge. I would be
God, you'd be an ugly woman.
I would be a beautiful woman,
You'd be
probably the
ugly.
most beautiful ever.
Ugh,
And then
terrible woman.
I would so overplay it. Like I'm gonna be on the ground. Karen, I'm gonna be the biggest Karen there ever was.
You can just be a Ken or a Kevin.
I don't want to be a
They call
Ken.
the male version of a Karen.
I'm gonna be a Karen. Karens are way cooler.
No. God, ugly haircuts. And
Yeah.
always wearing those ugly leggings. Sorry.
I'm gonna wear leggings all weekend. Why do I have you on the show?
I don't know. Let me go get me something to eat. I would gladly walk off.
No. Well, you know what?
Please send that to me. Please. Please.
I don't ever remember wearing a dress in school.
Please send it to me.
I did do the year after we graduated, I was the returning homecoming queen for the mock homecoming skit. And so I had to dress up like a girl for that, I remember. I had to crown the new queen, which I don't remember who it was. I think it was like Ryan Stoller or somebody like that.
Okay. Anyways, back to the show.
Back to the show. Shawna distracted me.
I mean, I definitely think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
I just think that, especially for us here in Atlanta, I think we need to really, pay attention to what's going on.
I want them to stop coming here. I'm so over.
That's what they do, just like with the Cop City.
I'm so
Half the
over
people that got
here.
arrested at the Cop City weren't even from here.
Yeah.
They're from the West Coast.
Yeah.
And that kid that they shot out there,
Mm.
that the police shot, he was from like Seattle or something. Like, stop bringing these turds to our city, causing trouble.
They're going to come anyways because everybody want to come here for whatever reason.
Yeah, we got enough troublemakers in Stone Mountain.
The real danger is on the south side for the people who are not from Atlanta. Stay away from there. You get off the exit to get onto the street. It's Junkie John on the street. Stay away from there.
I had a dude.
Just because rent cheap, don't you take your behind over there.
I gave a guy at the gas station yesterday morning $15 in McDonough.
Well, good.
'Cause
I
it
didn't even
just-
know y'all had homeless people out here.
Well, he just got out of jail.
Oh, well, that's even better.
Yeah.
Look at you helping.
I did. I felt good about it.
That's good.
He told me he was going to get his life together. That's what he said. I gave him $15. Said, get your shit together,
we
man.
prayed that he gets his life together, and we're gonna.
He sent me a thank you on like 4 hours later. I got a message on my Cash App that he said thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, well, that's a good
Oh,
start.
look, he might come back later on and see you and be like, you helped me change. My
He
life."
told me, he was like, you're the first person that's even looked at me all day.
That's very nice.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. You should feel good about that one. That's your one good deed for the year. Because I don't think you have any more.
I do
don't
good.
think you have it in you to get more.
I do good deeds all the time. I bought you pizza.
Which I'm going to love to eat as soon as we get done with this. I'm hungry.
But everybody just be careful out
All
there.
right. So we're going to do something different. I want you guys to leave comments under this video once it's posted to YouTube. We want to see what you guys want to hear about, because he always ranting and raving and talking about these stupid politics. So we wanted you to leave comments. Tell us what you would like us to discuss and talk about. Leave some points, things you want us to hit on. That'd be great. We love the interaction. This would be great.
Like Donald Trump.
Shut up. No. We're going to talk about all of the things going on in the world, just not what's going on in shitty America. Let's talk about and see what's else going on. We got to talk about the world news too. And non-Donald Trump stuff.
I was actually going to say something non-Donald Trump.
What?
I was going to say the moral of my story this week is, look, if divorce is an option in your life, don't fucking get married. That's my words of advice.
That's your TED talk for the day?
Yeah. to two people. I said it to two people. I'm not going to name their names.
Sarge, why?
See, I told you you're the favorite one.
Because you're always over here looking crazy, like you're having a.
Because I'm mad. I get mad about politics.
You're having a problem.
See, look, you'd be the best host. We might have to restructure. Me and Sarge were talking about rebranding. We might make this the Shawna show.
Oh my God, no! If you do that, I'm getting canceled the first weekend.
Why?
Because I always have the unpopular opinion.
You want me? I'll do the sprinkler. I'll bust the sprinkler out.
No sprinklers.
I'll sing. You want me to sing some songs?
I'm sorry. I'll talk more. I apologize. I've had a very long day today. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. You know what I'm saying?
I got up at 3:45. I beat you.
So yeah, that's because you live out in the country. You're right. You do. That's fair.
That is fair. That's fair.
That's very fair.
Because she's supposed
have a side though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like
you kind of do.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't have a side. I just feel like, in all honesty, I feel like me as a Black person, there is no side. We're getting screwed either way because nothing is ever in consideration about us and what is going to help us in our community. So, I don't really have a side because either way we're getting fucked.
Well, let me explain it for like kind of how it is back home. Like we have and I might be speaking more from my experiences because of how I viewed things back home in our tiny little towns, where you didn't have we don't have the issues back home like what we have here. So like before I moved down here, I was like, why is this always happening? Why is the Black community so angry about the system all the time? I don't understand it. But now that I've been down here and I've talked to people and I've seen things and I've heard things and I'm like, okay, so there is an issue down here. There's a poverty problem that no politicians are addressing.
You know what I feel like? And it's not even just with here in Georgia and Atlanta, like all across America. Like, here's the thing, like nobody gives a fuck about us until they need the Black vote. Then shit of, oh, we're going to sit down and eat fried chicken with the Black family, or we're going to go walk the Black communities, and we're going to go talk to the rappers and stuff like that. So for me, it's just like, I don't have a view. I feel like this is a whole literal, like I'm watching a circus right now. I think you have two orange people, one a little paler than and maybe not all the way there upstairs, and they're both arguing over stupid shit that you have to understand, like as a Black person in America, when America was created and the independence and all of this stuff and things like that and the Declaration of Independence, we weren't considered for any of this because we weren't even considered human. We were actually considered property worse than animals, livestock, if we will. So for me, it's like to say I have a view on who I want to be, Democratic or Republican or whatever like that, or liberal. It doesn't matter because either way, it does, I'm still going to wake up the next day after the presidency. I'm going to look 4 years. I'm going to look 8 years back. And I'm still going to see the city that I love and grew up in still being overran by corporations and gentrified. And they're going to put bicycle shops in Atlanta. This is a Black city and we're putting bicycle shops in a Black city. Who is buying that? Just me. But that's my view. I really don't have a view because it doesn't matter regardless of it. My matter.
No, that's why your view does matter.
It literally just is for that 1 second because they need the Black vote. And then once they get that, they're good to go.
That's the thing.
Even Kamala, she didn't even claim to be Black until she wanted to become the VP.
Right. But that's the whole point of it though. and we have me personally, I have thought the same way as a rural white guy. Right. We hear the same things too, not in your sense, but I remember sitting down with my dad and my brothers one time and we were going, why do we hear the same every 4 years we hear the same shit? And then when it comes time when we've elected the whatever turd that's getting elected, they never follow through on anything. It's like a 25% follow through rate. And that's why conservatives got so excited about Trump.
is because and people don't and like the liberals don't understand that because he came in. We've been asking for things for a long time, and we've been ignored.
Yeah.
Like you said, corporations have controlled the government. No matter what party the candidate's in, they controlled everybody. And then Trump came in and said, "Hey, the government, these guys don't control me."
And I will say that you see a lot of people supporting Trump because if we can be honest, looking at history, his presidential election, and we do know that it was a lot of bad things like COVID and all of that stuff happening, but we do have to admit for the Black community, people of color, all those may have been doing a few illegal things like the PPP loans and
that was like a
what was it? What was the checks he was giving everybody every week?
The stimulus
checks. Like for now, we're gonna always have our regular criminals that are never gonna do the things that they're supposed to do as things. But on the other side, like I know, especially out here in Atlanta, a lot of people are able to take that money and really create to start creating generational wealth for their families and for their kids. You know what I'm saying? Some people made $1 million while Trump was in office. That's the first time like themselves or anybody in their family is seeing that amount of money ever. So we will say like on an economic for the Black community, a lot of it is for the ones who are rooting for him and voting for him. Like no matter what you want to say, he did what any businessman did. He opened the country. He had money flowing. It was flowing great. And we looking now, and it's just like so many people were able to take flights for $30 going to Puerto Rico, things like that. Versus now,
people are having fun, living life
during a pandemic. And we look at now, we're supposedly out of the pandemic and supposed to be in a better situation. People can't afford healthcare.
Dr. Fauci needs to go to prison.
They can't afford to live in anything, and we're talking even in rural areas. Like people can't even afford to live on their own. Like everybody that I know pretty much that I went to school with is living back home with their parents because they can't afford it.
Right.
Like, and that's just real. So
I'm going to move back home with my parents just so I can be a Biden statistic. But look what Joe Biden did to me. I'm a victim.
Have that. One thing I'm not doing is my mom. But I mean, you know, that's my view, Sarge. I'm sorry. You know, I don't really have one because none of this really applies to me or my people. So it doesn't matter. We damned if we do, damned if we don't. I can vote for Biden and we just gonna keep going through this. I can vote for Trump and it's just like, okay, we getting money, but all these other things are still happening for us. So it's just, it doesn't matter either way.
Well, I mean, you got a point. There's not. I mean, there's things that can be done better.
I think
if you're going to be a politician, you have to keep your word at some point.
I think now everybody is seeing what we've been going through all of our lives.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing the ghetto shit that we deal with all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to see it now with the social media and everything.
It's very
Atlanta Uncensored. You get to watch it all day long. But I think that's going to wrap up our show today. Remember, vote Lemko Lewis for dictatorship in 2028. And we're going to start. I'm going to put signs out in my yard for that.
Oh my God.
Lemko Lewis dictatorship 2028.
We probably a fire ass team.
I'm tired. Yeah, I know.
Because I'm going to be like, absolutely not in the fucking budget.
Look,
You're going to blow your shit up. So I don't know.
Like we're Republican and Democrat.
It might go well. I don't know.
It will go well. They'll see how well we get along. We'll set an example. They're like, well, maybe everybody can come together.
People.
But you know what? According to the Bible, though, the person that unites the world is the Antichrist. So.
Okay. We're going to stop there.
I should probably start a war as soon as I get in office.
No, we stopped there.
All hail number 22. That's right. That was my football number.
2 is my lucky number.
2 of me.
Please.
All right. So that is good. Now that Stephanie has pumped my head up full of hot air.
Thank you, Stephanie. Now I won't be able to enjoy my pizza in peace.
I'm gonna go deflate. And I'm gonna eat all her pizza. And we'll check back in. I'll be back from Ohio on Sunday, and I'm planning on making it back in time to let everybody know my adventures. I'll probably make some shorts or something while I'm in Ohio. I'm gonna try to. Oh yeah. Oh, just watch. I'll be back before like 5. Man, all hail number 22. I feel really good.
Headbutting this black lady. Get your
Joe Biden just headbutted a black lady.
Absolutely not. No man.
Oh.
Please, he's gonna give her.
He just sniffed her.
He's gonna give her.
Anyway, that's the show. We'll see you on Sunday. I will be back. Watch my shorts because I'm gonna do some ridiculously stupid stuff with my brother this weekend. Yeah.
Sorry for everybody in Ohio.
Awesome for everybody in Ohio. All right. I'm out. Peace.